Hello, friends. It is November 2nd. This is Zenzi this morning. I'm going to use my nickname because what I thought I'd talk about today is the actual fountain of youth. It has turned out that the last time somebody asked me how old I was, they thought I was 25. How about that? Halving one's age in 6 months. Still got a ways to go, as you can see. I don't really care about wearing makeup. I don't really care about whether or not my hair is done. I don't really care. Because nobody ever thought about these things from the inside of a body that really is very sensitive. And so I go with comfort. And I think it's important that we figure out in America how to adapt to loving every single person that we run into. And maybe they're not behaving exactly the way they should be towards us, but we can really and truthfully just love them and move on. What causes this dramatic reverse aging? And it's kind of hard to even understand since I just sit here trying not to make you nauseous with all of my movement. But if you could see me move, it would be very clear that something very unique has happened to me in my life. And it comes down to a really simple way of describing it. I've fallen in love with every monkey mind chatter that crosses my mind. So all that has to happen is I just decide, hey, let's go for it. Let's see what wants to come out. Let's be playful and joyful, and great things come out. Including some real top level scholarship at the hypotheses level. One that is a great joke. I know how funny this joke is, because it would seem to me somebody else has already done it, but I've never heard it done. So, in learning about the fountain of youth, my theory had come to pass that really I just have an exquisite amount of ability to access my own memory banks. And they just keep coming and coming and coming, and I'm in love with all of it. It's all the salient material of my life. From the screens that I watched to the people who I loved, these sorts of very salient, very emotionally charged memories are just flooding out of me. But hashtagged really well, hashtagged in a way that includes a lot about analytically looking at being human. So, here's the deal. I get to give Freud vagina envy because he's just sitting in an armchair making up stories about the unconscious. I can do that, right? Anybody can do that. And my story's better. My story's going to end up checking with reality a lot more. So you can't get to an unbasement, but you can get to a sub-basement, right? And the subconscious is not a black box. It is not just a tape recorder, as Bruce Lipton likes to say. Love him to death, and really he's got so much of his story, out into the world that is helping people see reality in much more clear ways. But also, again, he's fallen for this armchair hypothesizing that Freud did, and really, honestly, humanity should really be having a little bit more of a JJ envy, is all I have to say. You'd open up to the possibilities of somebody who is in creative flow and let them tell a really good story. Who knows what kind of wisdom might occur? And so I'm here to tell you, and even the denizens of flow these days, like Stephen Kotler, not willing to see that the subconscious, which is the body, Candace Pert already sort of made that truth known. And I don't think it got very far, but the subconscious and the body are one and the same. The subconscious mind is what keeps us breathing, and our immune system fighting invaders and digestion and all these things that we are as personalities, these collections of who we think we are. That part of us is not capable of life supporting. We forget where our keys are, that our glass is on top of our head, all these things. And what we really need to do is understand the subconscious is all of the massive processing power. And it is not a black box. It is something that you can share with others, as I've done in this recording. The subconscious is your best friend. And getting to be best friends with your own subconscious is actually turns out to be much more simple than we could ever have imagined. It's about brainwaves. It's about a class of brainwaves very ignored by the measurement men, because they're creative and spontaneous, and they don't necessarily happen. You don't get like this when you're in an experiment in an MRI. And this is it. It is the full euphoria of being alive. This is a brainwave state, an altered state of consciousness, that I have the ability to dial up and down, back and forth. Most people are very hostile to this sort of truth-telling and energy and childlike wonder and, again, some pretty damn astute philosophy that can be sort of, I was going to say scary, and we'll stick with scary. Look, the world is not as you've been sold. And your life is constrained because you believed lies. And that's not necessarily the easiest thing to come to terms with, except that if you just look at the fact of how happy you can be when you have full control. And of course, full control, you can't just sort of go around harming or even helping other people, right? There's a line about other people. The way to do it is always to be channeling into the greatest good, wanting what you want in combination, and it is part of collaborating to make sure humanity continues. That's why we're all so morally ambiguous these days. We've forgotten all matters, not just the bling that we have today. The life we live puts information into all the people who we ever interact with, but also the morphic fields of memory we live on, beyond just those one or two touch points. And, I failed quite a lot in being the human I truly felt like I was, because of so much pollution and toxicity that, as a very sensitive person, nearly all my life, I was constrained by nervous system signals wanting me to know I was polluted and it was time to get out, get away from. And that often got taken out on people, and I apologize. I do. None of it was intentional, as most of the harm done to me has been not intentional, but that doesn't resolve the harm. Being happy about it, being accepting of it. And this is in both the personal level and in the macro level of society. Time to make sure you get down with the altered states of consciousness, the type of brainwaves that make you happy and want to dance, and in those creative flow, if you will, channeling your muse, whether that's in sports or creativity or in cooking meals for your family. These types of activities where you can bring your whole embodiment and you can burn a lot of calories and energy and joy and fun and dance around that kitchen island. These are the moments that make life worth living. That's where human potential lies, in these states. And they are physiological states that very clearly, once the measurement men get around to looking at them, a pattern will emerge, not a one-to-one relationship. It's going to be, again, a lovely kaleidoscope when we get up into the gamma brainwaves of how it was really going to be the capacity of the physical body to sustain that sort of brainwave power. Energy in the terms of bioelectricity, how electrified your whole body-mind biofield matrix is a key to human potential. You want to really be the person you should be, you're going to have to learn about gamma brainwaves. You're going to have to learn how to work on bringing that into a daily life of cubicle captivity that is very, very, very dead set against any type of altered state of consciousness, even the very, very useful ones like mindfulness and meditation. Only just, and they're trying to track it, and they're trying to find the ROI in it, and you never can do that. Human potential is unmeasurable because we just don't know until you give a human enough room, enough space, enough novel inputs, enough support, encouragement, plus a goal, a way to channel all of that energy into some sort of output that can be shared with other people, that can be collaborated on, that can be a force for change. It's all bioelectricity, and it's all whether or not you're physically energized. This has nothing to do with weight, people. This has nothing to do with aerobic fitness or any of the sort of levels of measuring, again, how many push-ups can you do, things like that. Human potential is outside those sort of daily measurable statistics. Now, they can be a foundational part of anyone's program. Calisthenics can get you prepped, but they're not the main feature of any sort of flow state. And I have proven that they're really surplus to requirements. Exertion. This is, again, where a lot of the science posits a great deal of exertion. They look at the Navy SEALs, they look at the extreme sports performers. And this is, again, Stephen Kotler's work. That, I don't doubt it, but I'm just saying, hello, complete and utter outlier here, different experience. And I don't need to go through just protocols after protocols of exertion. I just turn on a video and start talking. And here comes the flow, the gamma brainwaves, very much in control. Very much not the state that most people are thinking, but most people are reacting to me when they think they're reacting to the energy is the truth. The truth. We're so not used to hearing it. And typically people's subconscious is like, she's 100% right, and their prefrontal cortex, symbol for prefrontal cortex, has a hissy fit because it's so much cognitive dissonance in America. It can't possibly be that it's just bioelectricity, but it is, y'all. Consciousness, human potential, all of these things require an optimized physiological well-being that has nothing to do with being thin or fit. It just doesn't. Now, being thin and fit tends to be an output of having this much energy. This is, again, what I'm proving. But the core state of falling in love with who you are and what you have to give to the world can happen at any shape, size, age. It can happen for literally becoming a different person than you were from your first few days to 50. It's a big, big, big remodel here, and I will be the first one to say probably most people won't be able to go through the process to the extent that I have, being so isolated and being that I really have no other choice, because the prefrontal cortex was compromised by the mold. Still is. I'm still finding certain types of work output for that maintains the chaos, fitting into a system that is so inhumane. My truth is my truth, and I can't participate any longer in the parts of the world that are just simply incorrect because of lack of thinking, because of lack of asking about whether we're making decisions that are life-centric or not. So within all of my love and fun and childlike joy, there's a real fundamental hurt in losing that person who just could navigate the world without drawing attention to herself. And now I'm just attention drawing and attention confounding most people who are expecting a little small talk, expecting to hear the same words and sentences and phrases over and over again. My complete newness and the way that I just go at things around and around and around until I sort them out, I understand that can be slightly challenging, but it's never meant for any reason but to keep thinking about the truth and to keep working out how to be an optimal human in 2019. I'll leave you with that. Be well.